intro song on that track because it is the intro.
Shut your ass up.
Is that the little kid?
How you squinting with glasses on right now, bruh? How you squinting with glasses on
Nigga, because
right
I'm
now?
blind.
Shut up.
I'm blind. There.
Shut up.
I gotta find my way. Gotta need new shoes.
All right, man.
Trying to find my way too. Screen
Over
wasn't
here
right
ruining
enough.
my song. All right, man. Touchdowns and
Suck at
tangents.
intro.
Live from the Good News radio station in Culver City, Los Angeles. I am PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Barry.
And there's a lot of petty in the room already, man.
Yeah. A lot
You
of
want to talk
saltiness.
about it? You
A lot
want
of
to talk about
saltiness.
it?
Yeah.
About how you like ketchup on tacos?
About how you like mustard with your fries.
Yeah, man.
About
So
how I'm
if-
apparently the only person who's had a poverty meal.
So if you want to follow the full context of this conversation, you can go to Twitter. I'm at Pete Certified on Twitter.
And I'm at Ozo Grande. It all started when Pete decided to try to come at me and made up this fictitious lie that I ate bologna and put
let's
ketchup
back
on my
up.
bologna.
Let's back up. Let's get full
I
context.
haven't eaten bologna
Let's get
since I
full
was like
context here.
8, bro.
This whole conversation started with you trying to slander me for eating Jersey Mike's.
That trash ass sandwich
hold
on your
up,
birthday.
Jersey Mike's
Hold up.
is flight.
Hold up. I'm not even
Not
done.
the sandwich you
hold
had.
Hold on. I'm not even done. Hold on, Your Honor. Hold on.
like a
Hold
Taylor
on.
Swift
Fan
song.
court. Hey, hold on. Fan court.
Food court? No, this is
you,
a food court. This is
Kenny,
food court.
You, Kenny, the ambassador of free food,
The God.
are gonna tell
the free
me
food God.
are gonna tell me that I shouldn't eat Jersey Mike's for free
I'm
to
not.
celebrate my birthday.
I am not arguing that. Get all the free stuff for your birthday that you want, but you
Oh,
got a
you got that free
poverty-stricken
coupon
ass
too?
Taylor Swift shaped sandwich for your birthday. Like honestly, crack would have been a better option.
I got it 2 days after the fact. First of all, it
Like,
wasn't
like,
even
like
on
that
my
makes it
birthday.
better. That was
does.
a trash ass sandwich.
It was not. It was fire.
That
It was
that
fire.
sandwich was.
It was
hon-
better than those bum ass pickles you bought me 2 weeks ago. But I didn't
Excuse
have
you?
the courtesy to. I didn't
Excuse
have the,
you?
I didn't have the courage to tell you. But
Excuse you.
your
Now you're
pickles
never
were
getting
nasty.
pickles again.
Good.
Well, now no.
I don't even think you should sell those pickles.
Wow.
Can
They're
I
an
say?
abomination to pickles.
Can I say?
You know what's an abomination? Your whole damn sandwich. Which honestly,
Go ahead, sir.
What's
Go ahead,
the
sir.
sandwich that you got?
I'ma show you the picture.
Ask that question.
It's
No,
an
no, no, no.
original Italian sandwich.
Okay, so
bro.
what's the problem? Because
He's
I
mad.
go
You ain't
there-
seen the sandwich
Hold
yet.
on. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I sat there and used sign up for Jersey Mike's because if you put your birthday, you get a free
For a
regular
whole
sub
year.
sandwich.
You get
I
a
still need to
coupon
cash in on
for
mine.
a whole year.
I need to cash in on mine because my
And-
birthday was this year.
Is that
And-
why you're mad? Because we didn't go together? Is that what you wanted to go with
No,
me?
I would
That's what
never
it
get a
is, huh?
sandwich with
But
you.
anyways, I
if
get
you got
it-
that bum ass
I get a
sandwich.
salami. I don't want the other stuff. Just give me a salami. Put some honey mustard and mayo on my bread with a little bit of lettuce and
What kind of bread?
the regular white bread.
Yeah, bro. It's Jersey Mike's. So you keep
Come
yourself
on.
simple.
Okay.
They don't have your
Honey wheat,
vegan-
sourdough.
They don't have your vegan
No,
Dutch
no, no. We
crunch
don't- no.
with cheese.
Nah, bro, we don't have that trash ass bread.
Yeah, you do.
No, vegan broach
yeah,
is trash.
You do. Yeah,
Vegan
you
broach
do.
is trash.
You probably don't
It's a
even
small
put
bun.
lettuce on the sandwiches. You probably put spinach.
No, we put lettuce.
Mixed greens. Fuck out of
no,
here.
I'll
Okay,
kill
but
somebody if I ever see them put
Spinach on
spinach
a
on.
sandwich
It's
is
fire.
flight.
It is.
It is with lettuce, but
No.
I'm saying just spinach.
What? No.
Oh, no, I'm talking about
Yeah.
when I go to
No.
Subway. Hold on.
Have
now.
you seen where this man works?
Hold on. No, I'm
No, he
talking at
hasn't, but
Subway.
I'm a
I
sandwich
put just
artist.
spinach. I don't put lettuce on my
Bro,
sandwich.
Yeah.
his
I'm
restaurant.
not trusting Subway spinach.
his
I mean Subway
restaurant-
lettuce.
His restaurant looks like a.
You've never been to my job.
I drove past it the
Cap.
other day.
Liar.
I drove
Did you
past
go
it.
in?
I just
Did you
drove
go in?
past
I
it.
was probably working that day too. You didn't
Yeah.
come get a sandwich, you
Yeah.
punk.
It looks like a multi-level marketing Panera bread. That's what your shit look like.
That hurt because that's what it's turning into. My boss is an ass. That's what it's turning
Yeah.
into.
You
But nah.
that looks like something you'll see on a pamphlet for rehab. That's what I'm saying. Like
Damn.
Yeah.
Nah, that's probably. I mean, we probably cater to Scientology.
you're
event.
probably owned by the same hedge fund company that owns Crossroads.
That's disgusting.
but
That's disgusting. If it's true, that's disgusting.
on that note, man,
Nah, I'm
that's, people didn't come here to hear us talk shit, or maybe they did. Who knows? But in case you missed it, last week we did a lot of shit talking. Our first ever live show
clap
from
that up.
Jockster Deli.
Jockster Dailies.
I can never say. What's wrong with me?
You can't say words because your jaw gets in the way if you're speaking.
Wow.
Yes, you have a jaw. Your beard don't hide it. You got a second chin. You got 1.5 chins.
Wow.
I'm just fat, so I can say that.
It was pretty lit. I'm sorry that I showed up late, but it was pretty lit.
I didn't even know you showed up late.
Yeah,
It was
and
CP time. I
yeah.
looked in the back. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's some CP shit.
And she slipped in the back.
Yeah,
And then
I
she was
slipped
talking
in.
too, trying to make it look like she was
You was there the whole time?
Yeah, you should have not said nothing. You would have been good.
I for sure couldn't see nothing. Though. It was dark. Like, it was dark out, like, looking out into the audience. But
And we got into some shenanigans that we can't, release across the
all I know
airwaves
is-
afterwards.
Someone owes me reparations. That's all I'm going to say.
But outside of that, man, it was a good birthday week for me. How are things winding down for you, KB?
I mean, I graduate college in 10 days.
I'd clap for you, but I don't know.
My
The sounds aren't
graduation
working, so.
Wow.
Wrong
Wow.
button. My bad.
With friends like you, who needs enemies?
Okay, there's
Thanks,
the hand of applause.
G-Money.
There's the round of applause. Here, I'm even doing it in live for you.
I'm so touched, but I know like a knife is
You're
coming.
just trying to steal my fucking thunder. It's my post-birthday
Wow, we weren't
weekend
supposed to-
show.
How am I stealing
And you
your
over here
thunder
talking
with
about
me
your
graduating
graduating.
college? Are
It's
you
still
serious?
2 more weeks.
Bro, are you
still
serious?
got 2 more weeks. You ain't even really graduated. You're capping.
Just-
You still got 6 units.
no, I have 2 classes.
6 units.
Okay. Hey, guess what?
Listen.
Hey, fun fact, everybody out there, when everyone graduates college, you actually don't graduate college on that day, FYI. It's a
You
ceremony.
graduate when you get that piece of paper in your fucking mail. And
When
you
when your
say,
grades become final. So Pete, you didn't really
Here's that
graduate
fi-
the day you graduated either. So shut up. Yeah.
Is that
say
what-
you didn't.
Is
You were
that
drunk
what
the whole
tell
day.
yourself? I literally was drunk the whole day.
You were literally blacked out
I
the whole
literally
day.
was blacked
and the
out
party.
from 7 a.m.
The party
No,
was
like-
hilarious.
Like legit, I woke up and me and my mom started taking shots at 7 a.m. It's bad.
yeah, that's
That sounds fun.
The menudo was lit afterwards though. Shout out
know.
to the Latinos.
damn. So black people can't enjoy menudo. Wow, racist.
Nah, but I'm just
I'm
saying.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, man. Honestly,
That
if it really came down to it, I would trade menudo for jambalaya
wow, that's big of you.
and gumbo.
Oh, I'm about to say.
I might even throw in
jambalaya?
a second round pick
Of
to get
cornbread?
gumbo.
A future second?
I feel
Or
like gumbo
a
over
current-
jambalaya.
A future second.
Interesting.
Wait, what did she say?
She said gumbo over jambalaya.
For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
So y'all don't. Okay, y'all prefer more seafood than you actually.
But
do
here's the
sausage.
thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
That's
though.
all
I don't
right.
like.
All right.
I'm not a
Damn, I never
fanatic
thought of it like
crab.
that.
Because gumbo's mostly seafood based,
Yeah.
and jambalaya, like you throw in some sausage, some carrots, some meat,
No.
but you gotta throw in some type.
I mean,
of
it's
seafood.
You could put seafood in
It has to be
jambalaya
spicy.
too.
With gumbo,
Yeah, but it's different.
With gumbo, you have the sausage. I feel like that's
Yeah,
a
you
necessity
yeah,
for
definitely.
the gumbo.
Yeah, you have to have sausage and gumbo, but jambalaya can have. Jambalaya has to be spicy, but you can include meat.
Yeah.
Gumbo has to have seafood.
No, I feel like jambalaya has to have also sausage and like
Well, yeah.
ground meat,
That's what I'm saying.
dirty
yeah.
rice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I feel
some
like
corn,
it's
maybe.
like a Creole version or more Southern version if you put the shrimp in there. But I feel like dirty rice is just sausage and ground beef with rice.
This is like when Future song, like March Madness, should just drop. That would be a great intro to an album. So if you're listening, Future, hijack our stuff a little bit.
On that note, though, so obviously it's already been 12 minutes in. We haven't even talked football.
You still like mustard on fries, and yeah, my graduation is a clout chasing your birthday.
Okay. Besides that, like I was saying, it's already been 12 minutes. We haven't even really talked about football, and that's kind of what you can expect from this show. Yes, we're an NFL show. Yes, it's your weekly spot for NFL takes and tangents. But really, there's a whole lot of tangents. And it's a lot of fun, so hope you stick around. If not...
If you don't stick around, you don't have anything better else.
Yeah, you really don't.
You probably
It's
hate
Thursday
your
night.
significant other in your
What are you
relationship.
doing, watching baseball right now? Is that what you're doing right
Is
now?
that what you're really doing?
You're not watching baseball
Are you
right
prepping
now.
for basketball highlights? Is that what you're doing right now?
So on
You're
that
not-
note, NFL draft, it happened last week. We had a live party about it.
Everybody, too many dudes cried. DK Metcalf can't be that damn muscular crying like that.
Who is your ultimate winner of the NFL draft?
Teams or people?
Let's go teams first, and then you can tell your people.
How do I have a limit on the teams that I can pick?
No,
3.
go for it.
No, let's just go 3. Rule of thirds. Washington Redskins, New England Patriots, Miami Dolphins.
Wow. Okay. Explain.
Dolphins got Josh Rosen, and I think they took Jonah Williams, if I'm not mistaken. So they got their future left tackle. No, they got Michael Dieter in the later rounds. They got what they needed. They lost their right tackle, so they had to do something. And they got Josh Rosen, who I think is a better fit for the offense that they have, the skill players that they have. They could build around him. He can distribute the ball, which is what they really need because I don't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick. And also the Redskins just
I like the
got
Bryce
better
Love
at every
pick.
position.
I like the Bryce Love pick. Might as well. 4th round.
Yeah,
Go
and
for
it was
it.
a run on
And they
running
got the
backs.
guard, Wes Martin, who can actually play for them pretty soon.
Indiana.
Yep.
Montez Sweat, probably going to be the steal of the draft if he stays healthy. Him and Ryan Kerrigan
McLaurin's fast.
on that defensive line. You have Payne.
Haskins is an ideal scheme fit.
Haskins might have been the steal of the draft. The fact that the Giants didn't take him and they took Daniel Jones.
I
comes
feel
from
like
an
that's this
athletic
draft,
family.
Because, like, how many teams can
Gettleman
you,
gonna get fired.
how many
though.
teams can you say really got the steal of the draft? Like, a lot of people got, like, some steals.
The Packers
The Broncos getting Drew Lock in the 2nd round was a steal.
and then
And
trading
Oliver at
down
number
to get their
9,
tight
are you
end
serious? That's a steal.
for Buffalo, but that doesn't. I hope they don't use him as like a defensive end. I hope they use him as like a but I think they're gonna run.
Didn't he
3-4.
play D end in
No, he played nose
in
tackle.
high school though? But in high school he
Yeah,
was
but
an edge rusher.
Yeah, but still, he's really a D tackle, and that's how they should let him. Like he should be going. He shouldn't be taking on double teams, being a 5 technique. He should be literally just putting his hand in there and rushing upfield, and penetrating like that. That's how you use a guy like that. And then if he's not that great of a pass rusher with multiple moves, then you can improve, and you can hide some of that. But he should be shooting gaps all day.
Yeah. But I also like what the Chargers did, getting Adderley, getting Tillery. Those are two
True
ideal, 2 great talents, and also great scheme fits. The 2 for 1.
They got Drew Tranquil, the linebacker out of Notre Dame.
He's
too.
all right.
But still, they needed.
But
linebacker
Tillery,
help.
he's big and he's fast, so he can play
And dirty.
a nose tackle position, but he can also move and slant, so he can even play 3 technique and run situations and give
Pass
them
situations,
a talented, even more talented D
He
line.
doesn't really ever have to come off the field.
And then Adderley's like literally the perfect
free safety.
the perfect free safety next to Derwin James, who you know is going to play a lot more slot. And then the other safety that they got, Adai? No.
No, he's a free agent.
What's the other one?
Maybe I'll pull it up. But they got
Yeah, but they have another safety too because they kind of run like 3 safety look basically.
which they should really stop.
And then I also like what the Titans did. Jeffrey Simmons in the first round, 19. People were talking about him top 10 before the ACL injury.
They were trash for what they did showing that video of him in high school. Because they didn't put any context in saying, like, oh, that was his sister who was getting jumped. And he jumped in the fight. Yo, if my sister getting beat up, I'm hitting every female present.
Yeah, I feel it.
I might even kill somebody. Like, I don't play that shit with my family.
But
No.
then you got A.J. Brown in the 2nd round.
Still.
People were talking about him being the best receiver, and he can play inside, outside. He can
He's
do
the
all
most
the
pro
gadget
ready
stuff.
receiver. And he's fast. People don't give him enough credit. He actually is fast.
And then I like what the Panthers did, getting Little in the 2nd round,
And Brian Burns on the first.
Brian Burns in the 1st.
Even though everybody in the a group chat that shall not be mentioned was slandering him because they said he couldn't disengage. I wish the Raiders had. I really like Brian Burns. I wish the Raiders would have traded back and got him, but instead they reached.
Nah,
for
I didn't
Turner.
like him that much, to be honest. But
Okay, well, he's probably gonna ball out for the Panthers.
I
And
think he'll be good on the Panthers because they
Yeah.
actually have
they just switching to a 3-4 too.
big tackles that can help protect him. I like what the Colts did in the 2nd round, especially getting Rocky Sin at the top of the 2nd, Paris Campbell,
Paris Campbell at Ohio State, which is perfect for them because they got a bunch of fast dudes. Like they already got T.Y. Hilton, and then they got Paris Campbell, Eric Ebron. That's a fast break type offense.
And the Cardinals. I like what the Cardinals did getting
Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler.
Hakeem Butler was a steal in the 4th round. Zach Allen's a strong DN who's going to help him out when they move to the 3-4.
He's perfect for a transitional piece for that defensive line. He could be a swing player because he could play 5 technique or nose.
And then Deontay Thompson in the 5th round. That's
Free
another
safety.
steal. People were talking about him in the 2nd and 3rd round
He's supposed to be a
out of
first round
Alabama.
pick. He's supposed to be a first round pick before all the injuries and the bad tape happened.
And did they get Mac Wilson too?
I think the Buccaneers got Mac. The Buccaneers didn't get Mac Wilson. Cleveland, I think, got Mac Wilson.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Cleveland did pretty good too.
Yeah, just getting Greedy Williams at the top of the 2nd.
That's theft. The Vikings got their tight end Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah, I can't believe Greedy Williams really fell out low all the way to the 2nd round.
Somebody,
Everyone talking about how he can't tackle. They say that literally about every single LSU corner,
DB, yeah,
and most of them
can tackle
end up being Pro Bowlers
or all pros, except Morris Claiborne.
I think he was a Pro Bowler that 1 year in Philly when they won the Super Bowl. He might have been like an alternate.
Morris Claiborne never played for the Eagles.
Oh, I thought he did.
He got drafted by the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then didn't he play for the Eagles?
I think he
after
went
that?
to the Jets, I think.
You might be right. I don't know. One of those teams with ugly green uniforms.
So the Jets. It's always the Jets. The Jets have that ugly
What
uniform.
What about losers? Who are some losers?
Gonna say the Raiders.
I don't think the Raiders lost only because their draft got better as it went on, and they also got a couple of good unsigned free agents.
I don't think anyone's taking Clarence Farrell in the top 10.
I heard some
What is his
bum ass
40
take
time?
from.
What's his 40 time, bro?
Nobody knows.
Exactly.
I heard some bum ass take.
I think he's better than Bosa, though, so I'll give you that.
I heard some bum ass take basically saying that if Mike Mayock, the current Raiders GM, was still at NFL Network, Farrell would have been talked about more as a top 5 pick. That because he wasn't there to hype him up.
But he still went top 5. That's stupid.
Exactly. But what they're saying is it would have been talked about more in the media beforehand.
The entire defensive line went in the first round. Except Austin Bryant.
But yeah, that's what they're saying. And
Farrell, Wilkins,
and
Lawrence.
My whole thing with Farrell is like, yeah, he's a good player, but he's not a top 5 upside kind of player.
He's not an elite talent. And that was my issue.
And when you factor in that
Sweat
he was on a great defensive line,
exactly.
It's like how much of that is going to transfer over to a team on the Raiders where he's essentially the best edge rusher now on a team full of above average players, if not average.
C+ players.
Something like that.
C- to C. I'm not even going to say C. I'm going to say some C- players. It's just C- defensive line.
And then you got Jonathan Abram, which is pretty much redundant between him and
But
Kyle
I feel
Joseph.
like he'll be a main. He'll clean up some things in that secondary. Trayvon Mullen was a great pick in the second round.
It's a solid pick.
Like I'm not mad at that at all.
I'm not mad.
I saw him get that pick against Alabama, and I was like, oh yeah, he's nice.
And I'm not mad at the corner out of Houston in the 4th round.
I don't like Houston corners, so I don't think that was a good pick.
But in the 4th round,
I think Hakeem Butler would have been
solid
perfect.
pick.
I think Hakeem Butler would have been a better pick.
He wasn't available. They didn't pass on him.
And they drafted Hunter Renfrow.
Max Crosby's a guy that everyone's applying them for taking.
Yeah, but I don't see the point of trading up to get Hunter Renfrow.
And everyone's been talking about Foster Moreau as another steal.
That was because he's LSU tight end, born number 18, which is a legendary number there. And he already a good blocking tight end, 4.6 speed, can develop as a pass
Hunter
catcher.
Renfrow.
I think that was a bad pick. Kelvin Harmon out of North Carolina State was still on the board. He fell all the way to the 6th round. That dude was
Keyshawn Johnson from Fresno State, who went to the Cardinals.
That's Keelan. I'm thinking of Keelan Doss. Never mind.
which they signed as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
She
mean,
does.
I think the Raiders are kind of a wash for me. I think Mina Kimes, and somebody else said it. You know, you can see a lot about a team through their draft strategy, and for the Raiders, what you do see is like last year they took a lot of flyers on players, and
This year they took need.
this year they took need and guys who will change their culture. They took 4 guys who were in the national championship game, and the rest of their guys were all pretty much, long-term starters. So their experience, they're going to bring their winning ways, hopefully, those 4 national championship players.
Abrams is going to bring some toughness to the secondary for sure.
So,
But I still think that it was a really bad idea to take Clellan Farrell at 4 when Montez Sweat was right there. Devin White should have been the pick
one of my biggest losers in this draft,
because everybody else in the AFC West got better.
one of my biggest losers in this draft is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. They took Bosa, which
Shout out
I
to
guess
Jalen Hurd.
a lot of people are talking about him being the top 2 player, which is cool. I understand that, but that wasn't really a need, right?
It really wasn't.
And then everyone loves the Deebo Samuel pick, but I'm
It's
not
a great
exactly.
pick for that offense. It's
Do
perfect.
do slot receivers who run 4.6s succeed in the
He
league?
ran a 4.4 actually.
Oh, my bad.
Don't disrespect Debo Samuel. Don't
Yeah.
disrespect anybody named Debo. I'll slap you for him.
And they already reached on Dante Pettis last year.
Nah, Dante Pettis is going to be all right for what they need. And also, you got to look at the fact
And
that
they took a punter in the 4th round.
they
so-
need a Utah punter.
Which I didn't even get
All-American.
to the fact that they didn't address their trash-ass corners
They really
till the
didn't.
6th round.
I don't know. Yeah.
And they didn't even address any of their trash-ass offensive line, period.
Yeah, I can't help you there. But they got Jalen Hurd out of Baylor. Shout out to Jalen Hurd. When he's good, I just want y'all to know that.
That was probably their best pick.
Yeah, and I didn't think he was going to go that high. I was shocked. I thought he was going to go 5th or 6th round. And then they took another guy. They took, I think, 2 or 3 receivers.
And then obviously the other one everyone's been railing on all week, the New York Football Giants taking a quarterback many people had in the 2nd round, number 6 overall.
Mr. Noodle Arm himself, Daniel Jones.
But I don't know,
He comes
man.
from an athletic family,
I don't know, man. We
like Kyler Murray.
were questioning the Baker Mayfield move, and he ended up being the best rookie
But
quarterback.
I don't trust Gettleman.
So
I don't trust Gettleman.
yeah, I don't either.
Like, Dwayne Haskins is a better player than Daniel Jones. Just because David Cutcliffe was offensive coordinator, now you're sold. Because Cutcliffe is attached to Peyton Manning. Like, fam, you can't ride that train forever.
And then honestly, I mean,
Haskins is going to kill the Giants secondary. All they got is Janoris Jenkins back there.
I don't really even like what the Rams did in the draft. They in the 3rd round they kept trading back. In the 2nd and 3rd round they kept trading
They
back.
needed picks, though. And look what they
And-
did in free agency.
I like Taylor Rapp, but I don't know if I necessarily like him on that team
Bro, Taylor Rapp ran a 4.7. I don't want a safety that runs a 4.7.
in the 2nd round.
I don't care that he plays faster. No. You ran a 4.77, bro. A 4.79. No. No, thank you. There are better safeties available.
Daryl Henderson, I think he could be
Perfect
a solid player, but
That was the perfect pick because they don't have any home run hitters.
exactly.
The Cowboys stole Tony Pollard, as far as I'm concerned.
And then Bobby Evans, he's a guard tackle.
They need that.
He was a little bit nasty with Oklahoma, but
They need that, though. Worse, it's a depth pick. You might play.
my whole
guard.
thing with the Rams taking the offensive line, and I actually did predict that they would take Bobby Evans, but I think I had them picking him in the 4th or 5th round. It is, where does he play? Like, where do the Rams need help at center guard? They didn't get any of the top guys,
They should have got
and they needed help at tackle.
Bradbury out of North Carolina State to the Vikings was perfect. Oh, another team I think won, the Saints.
Yeah, they
They got
got
McCoy.
they got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who many people had in the first
Like
and
the
the
6th
third
round
round,
or something like that. Yeah,
or the 4th round. I'm
he
sorry.
went low.
Yeah,
That's exactly what they needed because Eli Apple was getting eaten alive.
any other losers you can think of?
The Lions.
Yeah, the Lions.
I'm
are
not
trash.
impressed with their draft.
Yeah, trash.
Okay, let's look at who their highest paid pass rusher, Trey Flowers. Who'd they take in the first round? T.J. Hawkinson. Okay, that was really it. And who'd they take in the second round?
Who's that? I'm sorry. Are you?
I thought you had it queued up. That's what I was asking.
I do. What are you asking me for?
The
the Lions,
The
sorry.
Lions draft.
They reached on that Hawaii linebacker.
There you go. That was
The one who's
mistake
slow,
number one.
who's slow and can't cover.
You know, he had decent speed, but he just isn't really. And he played at Hawaii. Hawaii's defense has been terrible, but whatever. So who else did they draft? Isaac Nwada, the Georgia.
Will
Titans.
Harris.
That's a good pick, but for a lot of line safeties, they get good and then they just end up getting hurt or they suck. They fall off. He could be Louis Delmas or he could be something better. We'll never know. But go ahead. Who else?
I was gonna say I don't really like what the Bengals did.
I like what the Bengals did. They have too many running backs though. They got Rodney Anderson and they took somebody else.
I just don't
Travion
I don't
Williams.
like what the Bengals did because they could have addressed the Andy Dalton situation.
How did Tyree Jackson?
They didn't
go
do it
undrafted?
until the later rounds.
I don't like what the Ravens did.
And they took another blocking tight end in the second round. Like they haven't invested enough capital that position. Took a linebacker, Jermaine Pratt.
That was a perfect pick for them.
What I'm saying though is they could have had a much better draft. When you look at where they fell on the board and some of the guys they passed on, it's kind of like, Same thing with the Ravens.
Trace McSorley was a bad pick.
I don't really like what they did either. I mean, outside of getting Hollywood Brown, I like that pick, but you could even argue that that's too high for a sub 6 foot receiver coming off a injury, regardless of how fast he is. So,
Yeah, I mean, I see what the Ravens are trying to do. They're trying to get it like
I mean, Miles Boykin was a good pick.
they're trying to get like a deep threat kind of offense, like spread people out. But then the core of that team is the offensive line.
All right, so what about people? Who are some winners, just people wise, you wanted to shout out? Because I know you wanted to.
Kyler Murray, biggest winner, first person ever drafted in 2 professional drafts, MLB and the NFL, and you get number 1 overall in the NFL as a quarterback. There's no greater leverage. And they got all those receivers. I mean, their offensive line is trash, but they put receivers and everything around him, people who could eventually replace a Larry Fitzgerald collectively. So, kudos to Kyler Murray. He won. I would say the Packers won. They traded back up, got the safety they wanted, Savage out of Maryland. They took Rashawn Gary. They could still disrespectful that they gave him number 52. Well, we'll talk about that later.
That's really disrespectful, by the way.
They got Sternberger out of Texas A&M, who's an All-American. They filled a lot of holes that they needed. So shout out the Packers. Usually always draft well.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, Josh Rosen is going to be a winner after all this, because if you live here in LA like we do, you know he was labeled the chosen one. He's always been the chosen one.
7 offensive coordinators in the past 5 years.
And now he's pretty much set up in a situation to where probably in the first time since he was probably like a preteen, he doesn't have absurd expectations on him. So now he gets to just play. And guess what?
Florida, no state taxes.
Oh, well, Arizona, I don't think they don't have a lot of taxes either.
But Arizona is paying most of his salary.
What I was gonna say though on that same note is, bruh, trade me from Glendale to Miami every single day of the week.
Day.
Every single day.
Every day. Any day.
One more time.
Every day. Any day. Trade me to Miami. And you telling me my old team got to pay most of my contract? Okay. Where do I sign?
But yeah,
I sign in blood. I don't give a shit.
How about Titus Johnson from the Falcons? I mean, he went from being what, a second or third round pick to a first round pick.
I mean, you just say his name right.
What is it?
Titus Howard.
Titus.
Titus.
Tyus. No extra T.
It's right there. Houston Texans. You can look it up. Obi gonna get you.
Texans. I said Falcons.
Yeah, you said Caleb McGarry went to the Falcons.
Yeah, Tyus
and
Jones.
they got Chris Lindstrom
No,
at Boston College.
That's a basketball player.
TYUS Howard. Alabama State. Enunciate.
Yeah, there's also one, I guess. Nah, this ain't right, bro. You wrong.
Just look up Houston Texans 2019 draft. First round. His name, I think it's TYUS. The T might be silent. I don't know. People be having weird ass names like that. The bottom line is HBCU player.
It's Titus. That's what I said. Titus Howard.
Sure. There you go.
That's not what I said, though. I said Titus Jones. Titus
You really
Howard
did.
out of Alabama State. You got his first name wrong. You thought it was the same last name as me. You can't even get on my head about that. You also
Yes, I
slandered his
can.
name.
No, but sometimes the letters in people's names.
Whatever, man.
Sometimes
Titus
consonants are
Howard out
silent.
of Alabama State went from a second or third round pick to a
The
first
K
round
and knife
pick.
is silent.
If you don't know, that's a lot of big time money because as a first round pick, you get a 5th year of guaranteed money that the other rounds don't get. On top of the fact that you're already making probably at least like $1 million more than being a second round pick
After
each
making
year.
no money in college.
After making no money in college. So that's a great opportunity. And even though I didn't like the Farrell pick, I can't really hate on it from his perspective because it's not his fault.
He got the
Team
bag.
took him 20 picks.
He did everything right.
And gave him 22 more million.
He did everything right.
But yeah. Outside of that, any other final thoughts on the NFL draft 2019?
I don't. Too many grown ass kids crying. DK Metcalf is too buff to be crying.
Did they
like
even
that.
do
All y'all cried.
They
bro.
didn't even do walkout songs this year, huh?
They should have.
I don't
It
think
would have
they
been
did.
Nipsey Hussle left and right.
It's
Probably
okay
right.
I don't
for
think
men
so.
to cry.
I don't think it would have been.
Nah, like there's crying and then there's like the crying they did.
It's okay
was
for
unnecessary.
we need to get rid of that stigma. Let men be emotional.
Okay,
Nah,
I can
it's
cry
not
right
just
now.
for women.
I can cry
That they
right
can
now.
have
There
that
you
space
go.
too.
I can unload all my pain on this mic and cry right now.
That's fine.
And
I
y'all
mean, a
not
lot of
gonna
people-
slander me.
A lot of people
Ever.
are still.
Pete's eyebrow went up like instinctually, like I can't do that.
Kenny hasn't cried in like 2 years.
Nah, like 3.5.
He's lying.
It's good to cry
It's
He's
been like
lying.
3.5.
for women and men.
2015. I cried in 2015.
He's lying, and then I'd be
No, I
like,
cried in 2016.
and I'd be
too.
like, yeah, didn't you cry for this event? And he'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. And I'd be
Did
like,
I?
wait, didn't you cry in this movie? And you'd be like, yeah,
I didn't
okay,
cry in a
did.
movie recently.
You're lying as fuck because you were on air saying how you teared up when Spider-Man died.
That don't count.
See?
That don't count.
See?
Everybody. Dog, I sniffled. I didn't cry though. Tears didn't come out. I sniffled. I was hurt.
You said a tear ran down your cheek.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. You didn't feel anything,
Oh,
you
yeah,
monster.
I did, but I didn't try to fucking hide it.
I didn't hide it either. I was just tucked away in the Gardena Cinema, choked up, and there wasn't many people in there.
I can't even tell you what. I can't even talk to you about the moment I had during that movie.
Yeah,
You know why?
why? You
Because you lost your nerd card because you didn't go see that movie.
I saw Doctor Strange 5 times. First off, I didn't lose my nerd card. I showed up to a bar last week wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt proudly.
Your nerd,
And still
your nerd
wanted the
card is
fade.
immortal.
Yeah, my shit's solidified, bro. Don't ever talk to me like that. I'll slap the shit out of you.
All right.
Order a pizza.
So
Raphael.
besides that,
Raphael's now an inside joke.
the other big news of last week and this week, the Tyreek Hill situation. You want to break that down, Kenny?
I mean, we probably shouldn't be talking about breaking anything because
Oh,
Too soon.
you said it, not me.
But yeah,
There was like a 4-page document that pretty much Tyreek Hill, text messages and all that, sent to his lawyer that they showed, like, look, I didn't beat my son. Mom did. Mom was like, I know. I was just mad at you. Blase, blase, blase. All I know is, man, in the NFL, you can beat kids or be adjacent to kids getting beat, hit women, pretend you care about breast cancer, but you don't. Just go look at the D'Angelo Williams situation. Fine people for wearing breast cancer cleats, but then having breast cancer awareness month cleats. Fine people for mental health.
which for the
cleats.
record, that's changed now. Now they have my cleat.
It still
stuff
happened.
going
Though.
on.
It still happened though. It still happened. And his mother was the catalyst for the pink cleats, and he got fined for having pink.
No, yeah, I
Trends.
know.
That
we
still
talked
happens.
about it. No, yeah, but
So like this is still a league
that's what I'm saying. Since that since then,
contradicts itself historically.
last year it changed. But go ahead.
Finally. And how long has D'Angelo Williams' mother been dead?
That's not the point.
But my
I'm
point is
just
saying-
giving full
I know.
context.
I'm just saying,
I'm
in a
just giving
league where
full
all this
context.
stuff is happening,
Context for the culture.
yeah,
Culturally concise commentary. That's all I'm doing.
culturally concise.
Finish your
commentary.
take. You don't have to sit here and elaborate and argue.
But I'm saying, what the fuck was that? No,
An
what was that? Was
ESPN
that a
ad.
demon? Dog, don't ever do that again.
That was my hentai.
That legit scared the shit out of me.
That was my
I will
hentai.
kick you in the face if you do that again. Don't ever do that again. I was
It was
legit,
a Jurassic Park ad.
bro. I was just legit like, stop and don't give Jurassic Park shout outs on this program. They don't need any. Stop making Jurassic Park movies.
Which, by the way, the new live action Lion King actually doesn't look horrible.
Unlike the Sonic the Hedgehog one, which he
Yeah,
looks.
it's pretty bad.
The memes are like they had him looking like the kid who turned into a monkey in Jumanji, the first Jumanji. No, that was rough. But anyway, we're gonna stop monkeying around. Back to kids and being hurt. That like there's too many situations where like Tyreek Hill's child keeps getting injured and he has an excuse for it every time. And the mom has an excuse for it every time. Like, bro, you gotta it's different with Adrian Peterson where like he grew up away and was treated away as a child and that manifested in him doing the same thing, thinking that he needed to do it to his child. When guess what, AP, your child isn't a freak of nature like you are.
Yeah.
And some habits like beating your children like we're in fucking slavery days should really end. You don't have to, like, it's proven psychologically beating someone into submission doesn't make them a better person. So, not some people, some of y'all. Let me explain this. I want this to be understood in no some terms. Some of y'all need to pay me to beat your kid's ass. And some of you parents need your ass beat too. But we don't. It shouldn't be a baseline to just maliciously beat your children because you have a bunch of unsettled trauma or whatever, or you think it's a good idea to do something, but you got an excuse for every time. Like, your kid's gonna grow up and hate you, or might grow up and kill you one day.
My whole take on the Tyreek Hill situation,
Like,
is
bro,
this.
I would cut him.
regardless of if he actually physically did the beating or not, or whether or not it was his girlfriend, baby mama, whatever she's going by this week,
And don't get me started on baby moms. That's a cesspool.
Hill still has a lot of blame
Culpability.
because one, you're the father. Two, you're the breadwinner, and to put your child in this kind of situation is unexcusable. Like, there's really no need for it. Like,
You
you're
already
literally
had a rep. You were trying to escape.
exactly. You already have a rep. We've already gone through your missteps, so you're not playing with the house's money anymore.
And honestly,
You're already in the red.
And once, like, people kind of forgot that he beat up his pregnant baby mom in college after he got drafted and made all those plays.
That was alarming to me when I was reading this article or reading up on it, because they're mentioning that this isn't the first accusation that he had, and it's alarming because it kind of shows not only just on his behalf, like, because obviously, like, whether if, like you guys said, if it's actually true or not what he did, it's wrong for your child to be in that position and putting your child in that situation. But I also feel like it's a really bad reflection of the NFL itself, because they didn't take the time to actually can you not hear me?
No, I'm sorry. I'm getting on Kenny's head for literally breathing into the mic as you're talking.
That was accidental. That was accidental. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was me this time.
No, but I was just saying, like, how it's just bad for, like, on reflection for the NFL and, like, on their image, because they're not trying to address this issue. And, like, this is he's a part of their image. He's representing their brand. And I feel like, I mean, I know that, you know, with the laws getting onto it and they're doing their own investigation, but I feel like, I don't know, they don't really take it serious. And I know a lot of women and gold diggers tend to try to use that, you know, route to try to get money out of NFL players, which I don't condone, and I hate that it reflects
but
women,
this is something different than that.
Yeah.
Because this is like his
this is his child. And that's what, like, to me, I just, like, where do they draw the line with domestic abuse and violence? Like, if they heard that call, or if this was a case, they should have, no matter what, whether if it's true or not, they should have, you know, not just, you know, bar him from team activities. They should suspend him until further, you know, notice, and they find out what actually happened.
My thing is, so the NFL has all these charities, NFL Play 32, whatever they're calling it, these foundations where, you know, they're essentially trying to get kids, you know, off their video games or off their streets or whatever the case, and get out and play and, you know, be active and engaged. And now, you know, here's this little boy, you know, essentially not having the very human, natural right of safety in his home, which shouldn't be bad because his father's a millionaire football player.
How many?
I'm not finished.
I'm just saying, money does not erase your problems.
I said shouldn't. I didn't say it.
Yeah, but you said shouldn't. But, like, just because someone's a millionaire doesn't mean, like, they're not gonna have family issues.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
know,
is,
but still,
what I'm saying is, you shouldn't be in that kind of chaotic environment when the means more than meet the ends. Like, bro, if you don't want to take care of your
mentally
kid,
or emotionally,
hire a nanny, bro. Like, if your kid gets on your nerves that much, hire a nanny. Like, if you don't have the patience for that,
what if he tells the nanny to beat the kid's ass?
Put people around you. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses.
What
but
if you don't
I don't
know
think
them
the
if you're
discipline
24
should
years
get to
old?
the point where the child's arm is broken or has to go to the doctor because he broke his arm, even though they.
Bottom line is, man,
you know,
and nobody knows what
get
happened.
a babysitter, pay your family, get a parenting class.
No, those are
do something. There are things you can do to not be a piece of shit.
Only one of those things they should do.
You can do
get a
to not be
parenting
a
class.
piece of shit.
Get a parenting class.
Plenty of things.
Because clearly, this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of people out here, millennials in particular, who should not be having children, and they having children, and y'all are terrible for each other, and y'all are terrible and toxic for that child. And then you're gonna wake up one day and be like, "Why did my kid turn out the way he did? Because you was a piece of shit."
Dude, that's any generation. You can't just say that's millennials, dude.
No, but I'm saying
like arranged marriages still happen.
Yeah, but
arranged
marriages actually last longer
time.
than regular. Surprisingly, statistically,
that's what I'm saying, though.
Arranged marriages work out
but
better.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, your point of like, oh, these people should never be together is irrelevant. You cannot be with someone and be perfectly great co-parents.
I mean, like some of y'all should have
like some of those people
y'all should have never
best
met each other
co-parents.
and spawned. Like the kid was innocent, but y'all are just bad for that situation and for each other. And until those people figure it out, you're gonna see more and more. Like, and I also think that this is an underlying thing in the NFL.
Let me finish my take. Oh,
kind of a rambling, but okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to get somewhere, but that's literally what you do on every issue. So you can do it, but I can't. But
I bring it back to the point. You just kept going.
All right, go ahead, bro. Talk.
You ain't gotta get mad now.
No, I'm mad because
okay,
you always do that.
It's
shit.
Okay, Sunshine. Yeah, but I make sense.
All right, go ahead.
So what I said
What's
was...
the next topic? Go ahead.
No, I was just getting my piece
It's
off.
your show. Go ahead.
Oh, now we're doing this?
Yeah.
You're doing this? You're tanking?
Yeah, let's go.
You're tanking Clipper Pete? Just like a Clipper. Gotta tank.
The point that I was trying to make is there's no reason for this kid to be in that situation, especially when you have all this forward-facing publicity of like you care for children, but you really don't because you're letting this happen in your own house, under your own brand, and it's stupid.
Did you say under your own brand?
Yeah, under the shield, like she's talking about.
I mean, not only does he represent the NFL, but him as an athlete, he is his own brand. So he's representing himself, whether if he's on a charity, whether if he's on a damn cereal box, he's representing himself, and he's being that image for other children too that are coming up and trying to be an athlete as well. So I just feel like it's not about, it goes more than just discipline, like he's saying. For your child to be in that type of situation, it's just unacceptable whatsoever. And I understand that there's some kids that need the ass beat. There's a lot. I worked with kids. I did that. But that's not, I don't think physical should just be like the only thing because that's all they know. And sometimes, and also too with the whole, like, even though I'm an outsider, like with football, like the whole, with the brain and because they keep classing. Yeah. I mean, that shit too is real. And they don't check that out. Like, especially like you said, they're having kids and then you're an athlete, you should definitely be aware. Like maybe you are, you have a temper and maybe you're not safe to be around your child like that. You need to learn how to. It's okay, men. It's okay. Like I feel like men need to know, especially in like athletes, like it's okay if you're emotional. It's okay if you don't know things, and it's okay to reach out for help because I feel like they have to like be that person.
Fake
be that
it till you make it. Be macho.
Yeah, be macho. And sometimes it's okay to embrace that nurturing side. And people think like because you embrace that, it's a sense of emasculation and you're putting a feminization on yourself, and it's like no, like you're human. Like it, I'd rather a man be like nurturing to a child and know that okay, yeah, he's this big ass guy, but guess what? He will protect my child. He's supposed to be a protector, not just I can just smash motherfuckers because I'm a big guy. You should protect your child and protect your family no matter what. And he didn't do that. He failed in all ends. And for him to put himself in this situation, publicity, no matter what, even if he didn't do it or not, and what the situation is or what happened and blah, 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 for your family to be in this spotlight for people to see, you already failed. Like, not saying you failed, but you did something wrong, and they need to acknowledge that. You get what I'm saying? Like, because I know all parent, like, I'm not a parent, but like, I know it. There's not a perfect parent, but you did something right if your child didn't feel like they were in danger, and right then and there they should recognize that they did something wrong.
And here's the kicker. I mean, this team pretty much what?
Ouch, you just said kicker. We're talking about the Chiefs organization.
And exactly, that's what I was getting to. This team basically cut Kareem Hunt off of a video where he
He lied.
playfully kicked a white woman. Yeah,
He
they blamed it.
He petty kicked. Like
He
you
petty
kick your
kicked
dog.
it.
annoying.
Yeah,
Wait, he what?
He like this white girl pretty much was swinging on him, slapping him, kicking him, trying to fade all his female friends. Kicked her out of the room. And she kept trying to get back in. Yeah, I know there's other reports.
that
Like,
part of
she
it
was
is
invited in,
debatable.
but then she got kicked out, and then she got mad, and then there was rah rah on both
And then
sides.
too, like
And she got kicked.
What makes me mad about shit like that, like you're an athlete, like you should know that your body is somewhat a weapon. Like like a boxer, their hands are registered as deadly weapons. Not saying that it's that extreme, but if you know that you can be in situations like this because of your money, don't you think you should play out like, okay, rather than kicking this bitch even though she's crazy, let me try and do my best to remove her from the situation so it doesn't seem too crazy or call security.
I
You know
agree
what I
with you, but the whole only point that I'm trying to make, I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying it's almost laughable to me that situation is worse because
Child abuse.
he lied about it
But because
versus
Tyreek was
actual
honest the whole time.
child abuse. Regardless of who's at fault, he's at fault because he's a parent. They're both at fault, regardless.
Nobody
Who did
outside
the
the
beating?
family broke your kid's arm. Either you or the mother did
Well,
it.
also too, let's be real. He kicked a white woman.
Well, yeah. I
mean,
I already said that, but
Yeah.
I
He
get
kicked a
I get
white
labeled a
woman.
race
right
baiter
now,
when I
what we're
bring
talking
it up.
about, we talking about a black man, his black child. They don't care.
Which the system doesn't care about.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not much news, but
Because I'm pretty sure it's white people who
kicked the
beat their kids
damsel
too.
in distress. Of course, they're gonna make that news. How dare he kick a white woman? And especially doesn't matter how. That's what I'm saying. I know the situation. I may not know the whole situation. So who am I to sit here and say, well, he should have been more safer? But I'm just saying, like, if you're an athlete and you know that you're gonna party and you know that there are crazy women out there that are gonna do crazy shit, or there's crazy men or crazy people, fans, whoever they are, they do crazy shit. I feel like they should at least learn and learn that patience and learn like, okay, let me figure out how to de-escalate this situation by all means necessary without being physical unless it is necessary. And I don't like, especially like with this time with social media. Once again, we're in social media, like it's at the peak. Anybody can pull out their phones and tape you. So I feel like they should just be aware of that instead of blaming, other people. Like, well, shit, like that the eye's on you. So why are you mad that you got caught?
But to that point, I think we really need to stop acting like all athletes are role models. I'm sorry, they're not. That's why I agree with Charles Barkley. Not everybody is your role model. The mailman ain't my role model. So if he got a situation at home he's dealing with, his job is to deliver mail.
True,
not
but
to be my moral compass.
okay, yeah, the mailman is not the role model, but guess what?
that's some bullshit.
Yeah, but guess what? We
Okay, bro.
breed our children.
that's a cop out, bro.
Yeah, because we breed our sons and shit to be
That's
like
like-
athletes and shit. So
I'm
they are
just playing devil's advocate.
no. As long as you're in the NFL and you're playing for
Yeah.
that team, you are.
You are the 1%,
yeah,
bro.
you are a role
You
model.
are the 1%.
You're making enough money and you're on
It's not-
TV and you.
But if you
have
go
a-
from having nothing to having
Money-
everything overnight,
money,
there's an adjustment period.
money
There's-
is one thing.
exact, yeah.
But what I'm saying is just from a competition standpoint, you're literally the 1%. So you are not the VP and the CEO, but you're right there. You're
Yeah.
a manager. You're like
No,
You're
they're
someone
the,
I
they're
look
the
up to.
assets. They're the talent because
you're
coaches,
you're the
and
1%
the GMs
of the
and the
asset,
owners are
though.
making most of the money.
But you're
the
the
players get the smallest
again.
amount.
It's not about the money though. It's about the talent pool. It's about you being
I get that.
at the top of the top. Like you are it. Who else am I supposed to emulate?
They're huge.
That's why it's a
Someone
that's
on your
why it's a
level. How
cop-out.
about that? Because you ain't- neither one.
It's
None
a
of us
cop
are.
out. That's a
None
cop
of us
out,
are going
bro.
to the league, bro. I'm
That's
just
a
saying,
cop-out.
I'm not depending on a stranger who doesn't know me from anything, and I don't know them in this situation to be my hero and my savior. That's
Yes.
personal accountability on your part. Stop having everybody be like, "Oh, I want." Okay, be like this athlete if you want to, but you need to know who you
can't-
are first.
But look,
No,
you
that's a
can't tell-
cop out for
you
people
can't
not
tell
trying
a
to
child,
take responsibility for
Yeah, you
like
can't
their
tell
influence.
a child they're gonna have a 10-year-old that they gotta have personal accountability because they see him as an icon.
You don't get to determine if you're a role model or not. You're a role model based off if people look up to you.
Okay, that's a fair point. But all I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, it comes down to personal accountability first.
When it comes down to it, people are always going to look up to you when you're in the 1% of something that they dream about doing.
Yeah, cats. I looked up to dope boys. Didn't mean I wanted to be a dope boy. I didn't follow their route. I was like, nah, that's cool. Y'all getting money. I want to get money. I just don't want to do dope and be drugged and get arrested and all that other shit, because that's not really.
But it's not about
beneficial
the
to me.
money, though. That's what I'm telling you. It's
But
not,
I'm saying
it's
everybody
not
has
just
different
about the money.
motivations. They're human beings before they're the 1%. That's what y'all are failing to realize.
Right, and
they are human beings. If I get $1 billion tomorrow, guess what? I'm still Kenneth.
That's
I
what
have $1
makes a
billion
fucking role model is that they are relatable, that they are like you, but they're better than you. They're the 1%.
Not necessarily.
That's what
I have
makes a
people who are
role
my
model.
models, and I feel like if we compare,
Well, that's a tribute to you.
no. It's plenty of people who have somebody they look up to, who maybe was their moral compass. Just people who got grandmothers that they look up to, and their grandma probably didn't really accomplish it in their life, or their grandfather, or their neighbor down the street who looked out
But
for
what
them.
makes them a role model? The people that look up to them. That's what I'm saying.
And
but what I'm
how they
saying
conduct
is,
themselves.
by de facto of being in the 1%, the elite of something that you do, something that a lot of people want to do, people are automatically going to look up to you because you rose up to the top. And you're like them.
But on the same token, how much do I owe people who didn't help me?
You
get to
don't
where I
owe
am?
people shit.
Okay, then.
You don't owe people
you also
shit.
you can't ignore that fact either.
But also, don't
These
be
athletes
mad.
can
Don't
sit
be
up here and say,
mad.
"Stay
Don't
out
be
my
mad.
business."
Don't be mad when you're wearing New Balances and
Ugh.
Puma because you don't have any brand accessibility.
New Balance gonna fuck you up.
But I'm just talking about, like, yeah, you're right. You can be Kawhi. You can be Tim Duncan. You can be soft-spoken.
They're role
You
models,
can
though.
ride under the radar.
I was going more
Exactly.
Charles Barkley.
Exactly. They're role models, but what I'm saying is
Charles Barkley, a role model.
you don't owe people shit. You don't have to be a role model. You don't have to be a brand ambassador. You don't have to be shit. You can just be a ball player.
Be a human
Fine.
being.
Cool.
If you're not gonna be
But
role
you're not
model
gonna make
for all
money?
these kids, be role model for your own child, and he didn't do that.
That's fair. That's where I draw the line. Be better for your own children, your own seed.
But he didn't. He
But
didn't
he
do
don't
that.
owe me or you or Pete or anybody else anything.
I mean, I know that humans
Or-
are not
or
perfect. I'm not saying that these
anybody's
people
kids.
are perfect human. I'm not telling them, hey guys, you gotta be a perfect human being because you have this much money. I get that when you get that much money overnight, there is a transition period. But they should also be aware of the things that are coming with them getting that much money. You getting all eyes on you, and people should be aware.
And
of
let's
that.
be real.
hold on. How
And
do
let's
you know
be real.
what's coming?
The change is not that gradual. That's a cop
How,
out.
bro? How, bro?
Bro,
you're not rich. You
are-
don't know.
Were you not a role model when you were a varsity athlete to freshman
I
athletes?
get that.
Were you not a role
We're
model
saying
when you
the
were a
same
freshman
thing.
to Pop Warner players? That's what
I
I'm saying.
understand.
You're a role model the whole right way up. You're not just.
I'm not arguing.
Wake
that.
up,
I'm
man.
not arguing
Oh,
that.
people look up to me.
I'm arguing.
It's a cop
I'm-
out.
Look at it from their perspective and argue it from that point. That's all I'm saying. If you look at it from their perspective, like, bro, Tyreek Hill probably came up through poverty, and now he has all this money. Mike Tyson, perfect example. He didn't have a lot of.
Let
leadership
me ask you
guidance,
something.
And he eventually fell off.
Let me ask you something.
Who?
Do you
Mike
think-
Tyson?
Mike Tyson fell off. Don't
Wait,
don't
whoa,
stop.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mike Tyson.
Hold
fell
on.
off.
Maybe Mike Tyson fell on, but he has a lot of money.
Hold up.
Are you
hold
sure
up.
about that? Do you know? He
Did Charles Barkley saying he's not a role model? Did that make him not a role model?
No, I'm not
Okay,
arguing.
then. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not arguing
It
the
doesn't
validity
matter-
of what you're
It
saying.
doesn't matter if you don't want to be a role model. You are.
It kind of does. Because
No, it doesn't.
If you,
You are.
always act in a way that lets people know I ain't a role model to you,
His net worth is $3 million, by the way. So that's a decent amount.
cool. That's fine. Net worth don't necessarily mean how much you got in your bank account, though. So net worth can say a lot of things, but that doesn't mean how much capital he has. bottom line is, when it comes to that aspect, when we think of athletes, NFL players in particular, and I don't know why it's really foul that it only gets broadcast on NFL players, because we don't talk about hockey athletes when they're out there committing domestic violence and all this other stuff, and cops when they commit the most domestic violence amongst anybody. We don't talk about how they need to be role models, but you're going home policing the streets, and then you go home beating your significant other. By the way, yes, you can look at the statistics. Cops have the highest rates of domestic violence.
No, I'm gonna argue that because
They're not. Are they role models?
Yes, because hold on, I'm going to say this because when you're in elementary school, when it's kindergarten or whatever, and you have your parents, or when you have career day, or when they say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" You either think a cop, a firefighter, a doctor, or an astronaut.
I want to be a superhero.
So
I kind of.
they're the front line of being role models.
A firefighter,
Police
a
officer,
chef, whatever. But here's the point: we're adults now. We
yeah,
know
okay,
differently.
So
can we still have that same naivete about expectations from someone
Honestly,
who feels they're not
just trolling us.
I'm not trolling. I'm seriously you guys are avoiding the fact that you can say you owe it to us, and that person looks back at you and says, "Kiss my ass, I don't owe you shit." Okay, what do you do then? Yeah, they're still a role model, but they're not a good one. Yeah, they're not a good one at all.
Exactly.
So you can't keep saying, "Oh, we should look."
And
we should hold these expectations to people who don't feel they owe it back to us to hold them. You cannot hold them to a standard they're not upholding.
Then he shouldn't be a football player. Then.
No, he didn't play football to be a role model. He played football to get out the hood. You can't sit up there and. Like, LeBron James didn't play basketball to be a great person.
Model, it comes
actually,
with
he
the
did.
Responsibility.
If you actually know about LeBron James,
bro.
that's actually part of his story.
Okay, that's part of it. But I'm saying he picked up a basketball and was better than everybody on the court and kept playing.
That's kind of because when you sign that contract and you start being sponsors for other people, that's what you're supposed to do. That's
agree.
That's what you're obligated. So when you say that, they don't need to really worry about doing that because they sign up to be an athlete, a football player, which is to be on the field. That's not true. Or because they wanted to get out the hood and they want to make money. That is true, but they didn't realize once they sign that contract, they sign their name, that there's other responsibilities in order to get out the hood. So they need to own up to those responsibilities and own up to those his responsibilities and the consequence, and take ownership to the consequences that he's going to get because of what he did.
Yeah, you're saying should, and in a perfect world, yes, that would happen. But the same way, you can't make someone be a parent. You can't make someone be accountable.
Right. No.
Actually,
that's the issue.
You can't make somebody be a parent.
Okay, if you throw him in jail, yeah, he has to be accountable then.
Exactly.
But I'm saying on merit of the statement alone, I don't want to be your role model. There's nothing you can do that can make me be your role model.
But then he shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, he shouldn't be that, because if you're on the field, you having other kids do that. Like when you're on the media and you're on TV and you're doing those things, that's also like when you do WWE and stuff, they always make sure that it's kid friendly and stuff. Like you have to make sure
it's a business, though.
Exactly, it's a business. So you have those responsibilities of you're going to make this money, then you need to act this accordingly, which is you are a role model, even though that you feel like you don't owe people shit, which is true. Maybe financially you don't owe people shit, whatever. But at the end of the day, when you are an NFL player and you have that much money and you have that image on you, you have that responsibility.
And that's why we have this whole stupid ass commissioner's exempt list. But you still can't tarnishing the shield, and that's why we talk about this every single year.
But you can't make someone do something they don't want to do at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can. Ask Alden Smith. Ask
okay,
Darryl
can you
Washington,
make a billionaire give you money?
Ask all
can you make
people,
Donald Trump give you
ask
money?
All
right
these
now?
people. Ask Josh Gordon. Ask all these people who are not in the league
with
right
substance
now.
abuse
And that's why
yes,
the
you
NFL.
can.
I'm saying
and
name,
that's why
name
the
a billionaire
NFL,
you can make do something.
But that's
for you
why
right
the
now.
NFL should and also hold them more accountable and hold themselves more accountable for these people.
Okay, how come nobody held Jim Irsay accountable, Pete? Nobody held Jim Irsay. That's what I'm saying. You're only focusing on the athletes. I'm telling you, I agree with what you're both saying, but I'm just letting you know that works for someone who has the same moral code and compass as you. For someone who doesn't and don't play by your rules, nothing you say matters.
All right.
So how do you handle it then?
All right. Can we move on?
Yeah. Still didn't. Nobody answered my question, but
For him to be
Answer
not
your own
playing the
question,
game.
bro.
For him to
No,
not play
but
in the NFL.
But him. Okay, there are bad people who play in the NFL all the time.
Okay, then they should not be in the NFL.
But that's your opinion, and that's in a perfect world.
That's
I'm
not
talking
in
about-
a perfect world. If you're a good football player, you're a public figure. If you're a public figure, you're a role model. It's not that fucking
But if
hard. You're
you're
just
a
being
shitty
fucking
public-
difficult.
No, if you're being a shitty public figure,
God, holy shit.
okay, bro.
Then you won't have any fans and you'll fall out of the league.
Sadly, some
Or you
people
get kicked out.
So horrible people don't have fans. Like
Whatever, dude.
the president's horrible, but he has a following behind him. So how do you explain
But that doesn't mean he should be a role model.
And
He
I
is a role
agree,
model.
but he is. That's
is
what
a
I'm
role
saying.
model, regardless
and you
if we
can't
like
make
it or
him do
not.
shit.
He's a
because
role
you don't
model.
have any power to make him do anything. So how are you gonna
But as
put
long
your
as-
expectations
But
on him?
look,
and you don't
Kenny,
have
but
the power
as long
to do
as
anything
he's
to him.
president of the United damn States, if you want to
The
use
power
Trump
of
as
a role model isn't its followers. It's in the people
But-
who empower him as a role model.
And not the people who oppose him or think that they should do something different. That's what I'm saying. I agree. He needs to be a better parent. He really should, but I can't make him do that. He got to do it. And if he doesn't, then he's just still a piece of shit. And that's just how it goes. It's another sad story all over again. But anyway, next topic. No, Pete, you do it.
Oh, you do it. It's your show.
I mean, you want to act like a bitch? Go ahead.
Boy.
Like I'm just stating obvious human nature facts, and
It's really not
Y'all
human
getting
nature
heated
facts. You're
for
literally
no
just
reason.
you're literally just being a troll.
I'm not being a troll. Like
You
I'm dead
you
ass
literally
serious.
said the same question 7 times and we answered
And
you.
No, you really didn't.
Yeah, we did.
You just said this is what they should do, but how you gonna make them do it? And you don't have an answer for that. Because, like I said, can you make a billionaire do anything? No, the fuck you can't. Because you don't have that power to make them do anything. Your expectations don't matter to them. They have their own following, their role model in their own way, and you can't change that. So
The NFL can.
yeah, they can, but
and
That's
we're not
why
even
they-
talking
how many players
about
are billionaires?
And we're not even
But
talking
that's what
about
I'm saying.
billionaires.
It's deeper than what y'all talking about. It's not just, oh, they should be better. Yeah, you can kick them out the league, but then they're gonna go live the rest of their life. You're gonna follow them around forever? No, you're not. So it's
I'm saying
it's harder.
I don't
to
know
make,
what you're saying.
It's hard
I
to
don't
make
know
a
what you're
role
saying.
model be accountable
Listen, Kenny. This
to the
is
people
what I'm
who
saying.
are they a role model
As
too.
long as Hill is on the NFL, he is a role model. If you are, I like I said before, as long as you represent the NFL, you represent a brand. That's your responsibility.
There's people
If
who
he
retired
hold
who-
on now, if he gets kicked out and he does some shit off whatever, that sucks for him because he's not now at that point. He should still hold that role model title because he has that much money and he's a successful business person. But as long as he's on the NFL and he's representing that brand at that time, then he should be held accountable for what he did. Period.
All right, cool. Speaking of role models, how do y'all honestly feel about Rosen pretty much saying, you know, if you draft Tyler, I pretty much want to get a chance to compete and beat him. How y'all feel about that?
I think. I mean, what else is he gonna do, right? I mean, that's what he has to say. I mean, he even said it's gonna suck. Like, I'm not gonna get a fair shot, but I still would have do it. I think the more interesting thing is that
'Cause Steve Smith Sr. went off on him, and I think that was trash.
yeah, Steve Smith Sr. went on him, and
Talking call him a soft millennial, like, bro, that
Somebody-
has nothing to do with it. I'd unfollow you too if you were you talking about the guy who's gonna replace me. Like I wasn't your 10th overall pick last year, and I'm supposed to still follow you on social media. That's not how that works.
honestly, I didn't even think it was a big deal. I think it was more of a media-driven story than anything.
That's what it felt like.
But ultimately, what else is Rosen going to say, right? I think it's more interesting the teams that could have traded for him, like the Pats, let him go to the Dolphins. So I think that's more interesting on it
I think
because
the Patriots ended up taking a quarterback.
we all knew Rosen was going to get moved.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of where and when.
And Arizona wasn't going to get a first round pick for Rosen. Because obviously, if he was worth a first round pick, then you'd still have him. And Kyler Murray had them over a barrel. Because if you get rid of Rosen, now Kyler Murray has all the leverage. So Arizona really had a gun to their head and a knife to their chest. So
it's like they say, once you drive a car off the lot, it loses its value. It's pretty much the same thing with draft picks.
Yep.
Except for their people, which makes it worse.
Which is, yeah, it's really an unfair game. But it is what it is. I got no problem with what Rosen did. And honestly, I wouldn't even make that video. But the media made it such a story that he had to. And that's what's gross, when the media starts driving the narrative. And it's like, bro, we could take this to basketball. Remember the AI? When AI, Andre Iguodala was supposed to replace Allen Iverson? Like, that whole situation. I remember when people were talking like, oh, if Kobe leaves, who are they going to draft to replace him? Like, dog, first off, that's stupid. It's not going to happen. Like, there's just certain things like that are reported and come out in the media that just aren't real to how it really goes down in football or even just other sports. Like, you're not going to sit up here and tell me that Rosen has to be okay with pretty much being told that he's obsolete, having all these stats and numbers against him when he was on a terrible team, and then say, oh, we're going to draft your replacement because the guy who reneged on USC is now a head coach, and he wants to run his air raid offense, and you're not a good fit for the air raid, even though Josh Rosen showed he can sling the ball a bunch of times anywhere, wherever you want. He's just not that athletic. But hey, whatever. And like, people want to say, oh, he's some rich, entitled kid. It's like, nah, I think it's just certain people in the media who don't like him and don't like that he'll say anything and stand up to anybody. Because it's totally opposite with Nick Bosa, and we already touched on that. But because I guess like they say, oh, you know, he's liberal, he liked Bernie Sanders. That's what I don't like. People aren't just coming out and saying, you know, we think Josh Rosen's really liberal and we don't like it, so we're just gonna say, oh, he's a millennial and he's entitled and he talks too much.
Feel
Like,
the
that's a
burn
cop out.
2020, by
Like,
the way.
like that shit's a cop out. I think he'd be a great player in Miami. He got a raw deal in Arizona, and honestly, I think it's better for him to be in Miami. And Steve Smith Sr. was really out of pocket and out of touch, like a lot of older people are when they talk about how millennials are childish. First off, if my current person in a relationship tells me they're going to dump me, then brings the person over that they're in a new relationship with in front of me and thinks I'm just going to be okay with it, in what world does that work? In what, like, which Infinity Stone are you using to make that shit work? I just want to know. Because it's whack. And that whole situation making Josh Rosen look like the bad guy is whack. But anyway, want to talk about Rashawn Gary?
Yeah, about how he's wearing your boy Clay Matthews' number now, number 52 in Green Bay.
The disrespect. You could have gave him Nick Perry's. Give him 53. Don't
And
give
what?
him 53.
Clay Matthews said the
body's not even cold yet.
It'd be like that sometimes, man. Not
He's
for
your
long.
all-time sack leader.
Not for long, NFL.
Bro, let them get rid of Aaron Rodgers and then give somebody 12. That's trash. Like, that's whack.
Cal's better than USC. What can we say?
USC is better than Cal. That's a joke. I mean, USC's medical program just lost their accreditation, so I don't know about that one. All that cheating,
Killer King.
all the parents paying for their schools. That's why that pisses me off. All those rich kids, all those rich families having their dumbass kids paid to get into school. And meanwhile, there's people working like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 jobs, doing all types of shit just to get through school on their own merit. And you get told you're not good enough because of a name on your diploma. That's whack. but whatever. I really think that's too much pressure on Rashawn Gary, by the way, to just give him 52.
Yeah, that is a lot, especially
You're
'cause he's
setting
a
him
raw
up
prospect.
to fail when he might end up playing defensive end for you and not outside linebacker. And you already have Preston Smith and I think Zadarius Tom. I forget. Zadarius Smith. Yeah. You already have both those guys, and you're going to have him wearing 52.
That gives him time to develop, right?
Nah, it's pretty stupid.
He'll probably have like a redshirt year.
Nah, I think he can contribute, but it'll probably be like he can't play nose, and you already got Mike Neal. You got
No, he'll be a hybrid
a five
stand-up.
technique.
Nah, he'll be a hybrid stand up, hand down player.
Don't drop him in the coverage. I think he'll be good against. He'll probably have a good run grade, but might maybe have like 4 sacks.
All right, well, NFL number 1 pick draft odds are out for next year, 2020. Tua from Alabama, he's the favorite already. He's at 1-2 odds, and the next closest people, the quarterback from Georgia, the quarterback from Oregon,
Justin Herbert,
are both at 7-1, and there was a couple other players at 7-1. So, what do you make of Tua essentially having the number 1 pick to lose?
I mean, I wouldn't. It'd be funny if he came out just throwing right-handed all season. So it's like,
Nah, it'd be more funny if Alabama came out and just ran the ball
and just made him play super conservative.
yeah.
That would be gross. Because I mean, you're seeing he can do everything. I'm just worried that, and I don't know. Maybe if it's like the league
Keyshawn Johnson said this, but he's kind of flabby still.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where like I don't think the league really understands how to handle Samoan quarterbacks yet.
Wow.
Like we're finally seeing black quarterbacks seen as people who can throw from the pocket. How many Samoan quarterbacks have actually made it from college to the NFL and are considered elite still? This is a new occurrence. Seeing like Marcus Mariota, Tua, his little brother. Like this is a huge like shift. Like they're actually going to Hawaii to get guys to play quarterback and saying even throughout college, yo, this is an elite talent. Like we didn't look at Hawaiian quarterbacks or Samoan quarterbacks as cats who could make it to the NFL. We looked at them as like, oh, they're gonna have to switch positions.
Play linebacker, play safety,
Play fullback, play with some receiver. Like that's and it's. I want to know how like the Samoan, like the Polynesian community, feels about that. Like I would really want to know because we can't sit up here and act like there haven't been some great Samoan players who could play quarterback, but were forced to switch positions at the next level because it doesn't just happen to black athletes. It happens to other groups of other ethnicities. And like, yeah, I really want to see how they're going to make Tua being right-handed but throwing left-handed a negative. I'm waiting for that accuracy deficiency take to come about sometime in the next 7 to 9 months. Because they're going to use it against them.
Let's play touchdown or turnover. So, you know how it goes. Touchdown good, turnover bad. Let's do it quick. Spencer Ware, he signs with the Colts. It was I think a 1-year deal, a little bit over $1 million, basically the veteran minimum. Is that a touchdown or is that a turnover, KB?
Touchdown. Anybody you put behind Marlon Mack, especially a proven guy like Spencer Ware, in spurts, just as a relief, that's good. I mean, he came into the league playing fullback, even though he played running back at LSU.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a touchdown too because, you know, he's a good spellback, but also if it really came down to it, you could give him the ball 15 times a game and he'll get you 70, 80 yards and you'll be cool with that.
Helping the passing game too.
Isaiah Crowell tore his what was it, Achilles?
Towards Achilles tendon.
Yeah, tore his Achilles tendon in a workout last week. Doug Martin is back for the Raiders. He resigns. Is that a touchdown or a turnover for Oakland?
Can I call that a field goal?
Yeah. Yeah, I second that.
That's a 60-yard field goal.
Yeah, that's a field goal.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's a
60-yard
good way to
field
put
goal to
it.
tie the game.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
It's not really a win, but it's not really a loss either. And there's so many good running backs in this draft that
I mean, Crowell was already kind of like a C+ guy. You got Doug Martin, who's a hard C.
you
But
have
at least
DeAndre
he's
Washington, who's done nothing.
At least he's from the Bay Area, kind of. So
Stockton.
he's kind of.
Stockton is the Bay. Is Stockton the Bay Area?
I don't know.
I feel like she's like, you knows that. She's like,
Is
Unfortunately,
is
she had that unfortunately look.
is Rancho Cucamonga considered LA?
Some people do.
some
if
people
you-
do.
If you told a non-Californian, yeah, probably.
I guess you could say this. I guess.
Stockton kind of counts. I feel like it kind of counts, but I don't know why it kind of counts.
Can you get there on the BART?
No,
All right, then
Can
it's
you
not.
get there? Can you take an Uber from Bart?
Then it's not.
no. Because you can take.
Can you
Uber from
get there
BART.
one bus?
They say
from
they
BART?
say the Bay
Nope.
Area. That's what I don't understand. They've been saying for years. Oh, he's from the Bay Area. Okay, San Mateo. Yeah,
Okay,
But-
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. There's
but
the
Brady's
Bay,
not from the Bay.
like
though.
the actual Bay, and then there's the Bay Area,
That's my problem. The East Bay. That's the real. Where we
You have East Bay, you have North Bay, and you have South Bay.
which is the Bay Area.
yeah, and technically, when you say South Bay, depending on if you're in Northern or Southern California, when you say South Bay, people assume Hawthorne, Inglewood, Mondale, all that.
All right, next up, Ziggy Ansah. He visits with the Seahawks. Is that a touchdown or is that a turnover?
I just want to say this entire draft and all this is kind of a huge turnover for like all the free agents out there. It's a lot of good veteran free agents out there. Eric Berry, Ziggy Ansah.
Ndamukong Suh,
Yeah, like I think they even went to the
Landon
Seahawks.
Collins.
No, Landon Collins is with the Redskins. He signed with the Redskins early. A huge Monsters deal.
He did?
He signed with the Redskins. A glorious
Oh,
deal.
Jamie Collins. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jamie Collins.
Jamie Collins. my
Shout
bad.
out to Game of Thrones.
Don't get me started on
By
that.
the way, fuck Drake for jinxing Arya Stark.
All right.
God bless the Starks.
Last thing I want to shout out to Des Denard. We don't shout out Michigan State corners ever. But yeah, shout out to him for buying a family a home. Or not buying a home, buying them renovations to their home. It was a family with 9 kids. So I'm sure they needed it. That's the good news of the week. And on that note, it's time to wrap it up. Unnecessary toughness rants.
Oh, actually, I got one more thing of good news.
Go for it.
So, Dre Greenlaw out of Arkansas, linebacker who was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. A dude came out. Actually, a dad thanked him for saving his daughter from almost getting date raped in college.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's cool.
It was really powerful. So good. Shout out to, good dudes like Dre Greenlaw.
Especially with, all these athletes getting these allegations and really just men overall right now.
We don't talk about like a lot of
And
the
fact
dudes-
that college campuses are essentially the most dangerous place for women under 30.
shit, sometimes over 30 too. You can get assaulted in the parking lot.
Definitely.
Elko was a hotbed for that for years until they got more security.
But yeah, go ahead, Kenny. You want to go first with the rant?
You can go first if you want.
So this week was my birthday. 27 years old. I can't believe it. But yeah, man, honestly say this birthday was crazy for me. It was crazy for me. You know, obviously we celebrated with the live podcast, broadcast, radio experience. And it was honestly beautiful. It was great. It was great just to have so many of my friends, my dad, you know, the Good News radio station, all get together and celebrate really how far Touchdowns and Tangents come. Literally from a phone to studio to having live events and hopefully still having live events and still growing and still doing new things. But from that high note, it's like I'm turning 27 years old. I'm rounding up to 30, and it's just kind of a lot to handle. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to think about, especially with all the different things I got going on in my family situation and stuff like that. But at the same time, one of the things I do love about my birthday is that it does always fall around draft time. So I'm always busy, and I'm always surrounded by all these great stories of players who really went from nothing to something. And it's also a time where I always like to think about the LA Watts riots, the Rodney King riots. I'm sorry, 92. Because guess what? That's when I was born. So it's always a good time to think about my city and everything that it's been through and everything that it could go through. Especially now that I really pretty much live in the heart of it, at least the south heart of it. Yeah, but I'm right on the border of Inglewood, so. Yeah, but I live 3 major streets from Inglewood.
Bro, you're like 3 major streets from me. You live in Hawthorne, going in Inglewood.
Yeah,
you're in Hawthorne for sure.
I didn't realize.
Yeah,
y'all lived
no,
that
I'm in
close to me.
Hawthorne, but I'm saying. All right, bro.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just being the troll today, bro. You really just being the troll. You really into
I'm
semantics.
really not. No, but where you stay in Hawthorne, it's
All right.
closer to Lawndale than it is Inglewood.
All right. But yeah,
On a
man, that's
map.
it for my. Go ahead, Kenny.
So, about last week, I spent way too much money. Way too much fucking money. I'm going to take out a loan just to pay off some of summer school. Oh, boy. That doesn't even include, my suit / tux or whatever I'm getting for graduation. Then I'm probably going to have to postpone some grad parties because summer school's, right around the... Actually, no. I'll have, 9 days. But I work full time, so... My life. Damn. But, nah. Honestly, man... I just been chilling this past couple weeks. Just trying not to get too high or too low. Really focusing on just finishing out the semester. This is my last journalism class I'm taking. And honestly, it's probably been the most fun. And it's weird, when I finish out my college experience, and I'm really close to finishing it out, and I think about how it started, all the uncertainty in the beginning, and now, I'm, mentoring people, giving them advice. They're coming to me, asking me things, because they're uncertain, and they don't know what they're going to do, but they know they're in the right place to figure it out, and I'm in the right place to give them some guidance to maybe avoid a pitfall, or do some things that they may be hard now, but down the line, they'll be like, damn, I'm glad I have that skill. I'm truly thankful that I'm actually in a position to give back, even in a small way. And I'm really proud of the fact, that whole event last week, it really went great. I, came straight from work. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was fun. And it was something that I always knew we were capable of doing. And I'm just glad we got a chance to show, A, we can entertain an audience. B, we can hold your attention. And C, drop some knowledge. But next time we play a game, because I owned everybody in trivia, here's what we're going to do for our next live event. So every question I get right, we get to choose what prize you get. Every question I get wrong, you get to choose what prize you get. So, I mean, if you can beat me in sports trivia, you deserve whatever prize you get. I think that's fair. Is that not fair? Is that not fair, Pete? You can shake your head.
I don't know how you can tell someone to choose their prize, but okay.
No, like we'll give them where we. By the way, I need one of those touchdowns and tangent pins for my graduation sash. But like how we gave out.
They weren't pins; they were stickers.
Stickers. I need like 3 of them. Yeah. So
don't worry, I have 1,000 of them.
Give me like 25.
I can give you like 100.
Cool.
I can give you 500.
Give me 500.
As soon as you hit me with that Venmo.
Taxing son of a. It's bad enough one of our friends owes me reparations, but it's whatever. But anyway.
So should I send him the invoice then?
Send him the invoice and then like run me the stickers. But like your contract is with him. But anyway.
I'm sending you the invoice.
Why does everybody want to send me invoices? Damn it. Jesus. I didn't even owe the government this much money. This is bullshit. But whatever. Yeah, I'm just thankful, man. And I'm really excited for Black Grad coming up May 12th for all my friends.
Write checks you can cash.
I can't say anything further because it incriminate us both. But whatever. Yeah, I'm just really excited for May 12th Black Grad coming up. No matter who shows up, who doesn't. My mom and my sister will be there.
I won't be there.
I don't care. My mom and my sister will be there. And that's all that really matters. Anybody else who can show up?
I gotta walk my dog.
That's cool. Fuck your dog. Hope your dog gets hit by a bus with you holding the leash because you wanted to force it to walk out the street and the dog was like, "Nah, we should stay put." I hope your dog gets sacrificed to the Soul Stone.
That escalated.
I hope your dog ends up in Vormir, bitch.
I got my yoga class.
You couldn't do yoga the same way you probably can't spell yoga.
All right, man. With that, this is Touchdowns and Tangents. I'm PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank Jamesberry.
Shout out to A Squad affiliate. Shout out to the Good News radio station. Shout out to FBC Radio. Shout out to all your favorite podcast apps. Shout out to Serve, the lovely Serve. Thanks as always. And anyone else I forget to shout out?
Oh yeah, Bushwick Bill has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Pray for Bushwick Bill as we ride out.